Hello, everybody. Okay, we are back with spelling day 4. And again, I have got grades 1, 3, and 6 packets to walk through with you. So the activity for today's spelling is to stamp or rainbow write words. So this is my Melissa and Doug stamp set that the kids can use, right? I'll link it down below for you. It's I like their prices are very reasonable, but you know, you can use anything. So I'm gonna go through as if I'm doing like 1 or 2 words. Okay, let's pick some words from our list. Let's use the word, okay, let's say man. Let's say we're on lesson 15, right? Man. So they may want to be looking at their flashcards and just flipping them as they go. That's my preferred method. And then otherwise they can look through, they can find an M, right? And they can either do each letter a different color, or they can do each word a different color. And then I need an A, ah. Trying to encourage them to say the sounds. Ah, right? So, those are, you know, rainbow writing. Sometimes, I mean, some kids really like that. I know my middle son, he just got like, it just took too long to stamp. He actually preferred to write it. So that was fine. So I let him, he could write with these. I like these highlighters because they have like a good tip for actually like highlighting in a line, and then they have like a writing tip too. So you could do like man, right? And then let's say the next word was, sorry, bumped you. So it was tip, and then there was something like pet, right? These are all CVC words with a short vowel, right? So they could be rainbow writing as in they're each in a different, just the words are in different colors, something like that as well. That's how you get them to do this all out. This activity really slows them down and makes them, especially when they're doing them all in different colors. So if we did it like this, like, oops, that's not my writing tip. What if, and then p, right? P. Those are nice. And then, and you know, highlighter is always nice because they don't bleed through as much onto, you know, behind themselves. Then there's always, like my oldest son really likes using these. This is his preference. These kind of pens. Maybe I'll link these all down there for you, because he doesn't have to change hands with anything. He can just go map, and then he goes next, tip, right, next, pet, right? And that's faster for him, and he enjoys this. So that's 3 ways you can rainbow write. Well, technically maybe 4 variations of rainbow writing. And then I like them to go back through after they've got them all written down and clap or tap the syllables as you read them, it says. So this is just map, right? Or map, tip, pet, right? So that would be grade 1. Okay, my grade 3. Let's see, what's the instructions? Rainbow write words in a column, skipping lines. You need to know that a column goes, you know, this way. So let's look at a couple words from their lists. So let's look at lesson 8, desk, nest, husk, musk, right? So they could do desk, nest, like some blends here, right? Husk. Let's do a different color. musk. Okay, just for example. So they would write those all down, skipping lines. Now it says label consonant sounds, right? So desk. So these, the consonants, they need to know what are consonants and what aren't. So you might have to give them a lesson on that, just refresher, right? Vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and Y. And then everything else is a consonant. You know, vowels, you can prolong the sound. You can speak it like eh with an open mouth, right? Because there are words like sounds like that are prolonged, but they're obstructed by tongue or teeth, so they're consonants. So to be a vowel, it has to be able to be sustained over time, the sound, and to have no obstructions like tongue or teeth in the way. So they can test themselves on that. So vowels, your mouth is going to open. It's going to be open. Okay, so label consonant sounds. So there may not be anything. Like these are all making their normal sounds, right? But if you had a word like, what if you had a word like scent, right? This C is saying its second sound. So you might just write 2 if it's its second sound, or 3 or 4, especially if you have the RC flashcards. You can see, or even the Mott Media flashcards. Let me see if I have C in here, if I've already. See how like it'll show you, and I already wrote them on here for myself at some point. So for us, the soft C that sounds like an S, we mark as like, we just put a little S under it, kind of like that, right? If it's a hard C, like if it was cat, it's a hard C, right? T, these and N, they don't really have other sounds. And if you aren't sure, you can have them look through their flashcards to see if they do. Yes, and sometimes that's just a good exercise to have them do. Like here's the T. See, T just has one sound, tap and cut. So there's no, I didn't make any note of any extra sounds or any diacritical marks to go with them. But something like S, what if you had the word was, right? First of all, the A is saying well, but we're just talking about consonants right now. But the S is saying the second sound of S, which sounds like a Z, right? And let's see if I don't know if I ever even wrote that down. I don't know if there is a mark for that, but if something is making a second sound, I'll put the sound it makes, right, in there. There's S's. Let's see what our S card says. Yeah, it just says, oh, there are some exceptions where S says sh, right? Or it's silent. So these words, S is silent. These words, it's saying sh, like in the word sure. So in that case, if my word was sure, this is why they were supposed to be skipping lines. The S is saying sh, right? So I would probably mark it maybe in a different color with the /sh /. That means sounds like sh. Okay. Anyway, so, and of course, if they were silent, like if you had the word, let's like change up my colors, like the word island, right? That S is silent. Then I just mark it by doing a slash through it. That means silent. It means I land, right? Anyway, so I just want the kids to take time. This is going to make them study. It's not just vowels that have more than one sound. Consonants can also have more than one sound. So we're going to make them study those. I think these are really helpful to have. And mark them down. If you like, it's also would be helpful if you had them. It'd be a good side assignment. Maybe I should make this. But but to have them write out the consonant and vowels and then write out all of the symbols that go along with the different sounds of them. That's like a good research project for them. Okay, then mark vowels with diacritical symbols. So these are easier, right? So desk, these are all short. Nest, husk, musk, right? Scent, fat, or sorry, cat, I thought it looked like an F. Was. This is actually making a schwa, so I do that. Sure, this is more of a long U. And island, that's long. Island is short, right? So yeah, you're mostly gonna have like long, short, like, you know, you get like a broad A, you get this ah kind of sound, those kind of symbols. And if you're looking in here, they'll give you a lot of them in the book. And so this is grade 3. Look, I don't know, this might be still grade 2, but look at this word furl. So they're giving you this, so furl, it's kind of like curl, right? It's the meaning. Furl, so it's an R-controlled vowel right here, so I might underline it to be like, that's kind of like, those are glued together. It's an R-controlled vowel, they're kind of a unit. But they give the diacritical mark as this little carrot looking thing. That's how they mark that sound. Hurl, turn, churn, hurt, curl, they all have that. For a word like plume, right, you're gonna get plume, it's a long U and it's a silent E, that a silent plume. That's why it's only one, even though you see 2 vowels, you only hear one, you only hear plume. The E is silent, so it doesn't get its own syllable. Same with, so you see it again here with the word torch. You see another R-controlled vowel right here. Right? And so you see this carrot over the O. Corn, sort, torch, shorn, they all do that. Then for a word like roof, say that roof. You see this as a vowel team or vowel digraph maybe, and they do a really long one. So one O with a straight line is O. A double O with a long straight line over is oo, roof, right? And I believe for like a word like book, B-O-O-K, right? Those 2 are sticking together, and it looks like this, book. It's like a really long. So an O that said ah, just a single O that said ah, it'd have a little one of those. A double O with a long one of those says Anyway, so just let them use their spelling eclectic book to go in. If they don't know off the top of their head, just see what McGuffey said and study that. Waltz, there's that ah, broad A. See, they're showing it underneath. They're going like this. A, waltz, right? Trying to see gloom. So let's say you had a word like gloom, just as far as marking consonants. So G has 2 sounds. It has G and it has J, right? So remember, G softens to J if it's followed by an E, I, or Y, just like C. And so since it's not, they could mark this one like this. They could say, okay, label consonant sounds. Well, this is called a hard G, G, since that one has 2 sounds. L only has 1 as far as I know. Gloom, they did the long gloom over that. Those 2 are kind of linked. And then M is just normal. So these are the marks. Hard G, this is double O saying ooh, this is double O saying See, outside they look the same, but they have different diacritical marks. Okay, that was grade 3. Grade 6 says divide each word into its syllables. Check word in spelling book or dictionary. Yeah, just have them check it. Okay, let's get a couple words from grade 6 and I'll write them. It's not even telling them to rainbow write at this point. So let's see, we've got ointment. Let's say we're doing listening, ointment, voice, and poise. Say we're doing ointment, voice, and poise. You can see we're studying the OI here, right? So divide each word into its syllables. I would definitely use a pencil, just in case. So I'd say it's ointment. So I think the break is right there. Voice is 1 and poise is 1. So I don't have anything to divide, but I can check in on that. So that's going to be in here. You can look it up in here, but just in case, well, maybe I'll just use this one since that's what this whole program is based off of. Okay. Okay, so here we are. It's in lesson, this is kind of covered in lesson 52. So yeah, I definitely did make oint into ointment because I thought this didn't make sense to me to leave it like that. So it's the sound of OI or OY, which is unmarked, as heard in oil and oyster, right? So that one's not going to tell me. But it does tell you these ones, like you'd have to confirm ointment in the dictionary, but I'm positive that's where it is because that's a suffix. So, but what about the word recoil, right? And destroy. So you can tell where the syllable break is. So recoil, destroy. By clapping, and you can see how you can confirm it by checking it. They leave a space between the syllables. So remember, just remind them a syllable. There is you can hear a vowel sound in every syllable, right? So usually you're going to see it too, right? The only time I would say you don't is what about the word like cable, right? So this E is actually there because the word is K, right? Bull. But you kind of sound, this almost sounds like bull, B-U-L, bull, when you go between the B and the L. So there's kind of a vowel sound in there. So they actually just add this E in there so that you can see a vowel, but it's actually silent and it's not what you're even hearing. But in English, you have to hear and see a vowel in every syllable. So sometimes that's why there's E's, silent E's, right? Anyways, okay. Let's see here. So what's next? So you can confirm it either in dictionaries. We'll show you where it is too. And then circle any affixes. So anything that a prefix or a suffix, right, is an affix, and square any bases. So in this one, when I said to circle any affixes, we've affixed meant onto here. Circle it, right? And the base word is oint. And that might be a good one to look up if they're confused. And then voice, these don't have anything. So right, that's the affix, it's a prefix, and coil, we're going to square it. That's the base word. Destroy. Interesting. Okay, so, and then modify word with an affix or affixes. What is the new meaning? So ones that didn't have it, let's say we had voice. Maybe we wanted to add on less, voiceless, right? Now that means you have no voice. Poise. And if you ever aren't sure, I'm like, what? I don't know what a derivative of poise is. Let's just use our dictionary and look up poise and see if they give us some derivatives in the definition area. There it is, poise. So weight, heaviness, from the French and Latin pensum. So a stably balanced state or equilibrium, a poise between widely, divergent impulses. Number 2, easy, self-possessed assurance of manner, gracious tact in coping or handling. Also, the pleasantly tranquil interaction between persons of poise. No angry outburst marred the poise of the meeting. And B, a particular way of carrying oneself or bearing or carriage, right? Also see tact. So there's another word, poise. I guess you could just say poised, right? You could add on an ed. It means to be having poise, marked by balance or equilibrium, marked by easy composure of manner or bearing. She was very poised in the meeting, right? So remember with poise, if you're going to make this past tense, you want to poise, right, plus ed, right? It's like you drop the final e and then you add the ed in, so you end up with poised, right? It wouldn't be poise and then ed. You wouldn't do that, right? You would drop that one to add that one, right? That's a no-go. So poise goes from a noun, it's a thing, it's an idea, right? It's a way you carry yourself, to poised goes to being like an adjective, like she's very poised. Or it could be a verb, like they were poised for a win in the midterms, but bombed. Anyways, so then it says, that's it. That's all they have to do. So they're just doing word studies, and you can see how we're deepening our understanding of language and how that affects our spelling as time goes by. Just so you know, let's say, I called this grade 6 or whatever. But if you felt like these words were too easy for your 6th grader, just use your just keep going, right? And just keep going. Look in here, and you can give your child like an oral exam if you're like, okay, we've been doing all these words are too easy. I want them to be a little more challenged. Then just give them an oral exam one day. Say stir, first, firm, skirt, have them give you an oral, whatever. Anything that they get right, just kind of make a little check mark next to it or something. Anything they got wrong, maybe make a little circle or just write it down, right? As if they miss one, just write it down on a piece of paper. And then, you can literally go through until they get to a point where they don't know how to spell the words at all, massively, right? And then just go back and instead of going off of this list, you can go off of their missed words list, because the activities in here are going to work for no matter what word list you have. I just am taking these from here because I liked the progression in here, and I like McGuffey, and I like how much information he gave us in the book. Like, I love all the diacritical marks and the spaces for syllables and the grouping of the words. I like that because it is so much easier for me to check for the kids if they're doing their assignments, to check that against, how it looked in the book, right? But between, this and a dictionary, I think I have all the words my kids need. Okay. Okay, so what did we use with this today? With the day 4 in the packets, we did use some media cards. I did use my McGuffey spelling book, and I did use my dictionary, something to rainbow write or stamp with. And that's another great day of spelling practice in the books. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I will see you back here for day 5.